Welcome, Hilda. We really appreciate your leadership and taking the time to do this interview with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. As always, we like to begin all things by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we're on. We want to acknowledge our ancestors and those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We also want to acknowledge all the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we continue to stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So please go ahead and tell us about the origins of the work that you do and what you do with the Black Talent Initiative.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I'm very honored to be here today. So at the BTI, the Black Talent Initiative, we were founded in 2020 to help bring a community together as we were working to challenge anti-Black racism. We also recognized that systemic barriers have historically existed that really prevent Black professionals, Black individuals from thriving in the workplace. And so we wanted to create an organization that has a community that supports the journey and the empowerment of Black talent. We want Black talent to thrive. We want them to achieve the imaginable, and we want them to feel like they belong and they're included in organizations across the world. And so that's how Black Talent was founded. And we understand that, the way the structural barriers have been created, there's been exclusivity in hiring, there's been gatekeeping, and even the hiring eligibility has affected Black talent. And so we wanted to start to address those issues by creating an organization that helps to support that journey. We also recognize that Black talent are also entrepreneurs and are having the opportunity to do amazing things in the entrepreneurial world. And so we wanted to create a space where they can belong, they can feel supported, and they can start to achieve the things that maybe they are not able to achieve on their own.
Absolutely. Can you get into a little bit about the mission and the vision of the organization?
Yeah, for sure. So we're trying to cultivate a community where Black talent thrives, and we're looking for ways to provide an opportunity to empower their journey forward. And so as an organization, we approach that in three different ways. So we want to build a community that is Black-led and ally-supported. We want to create connections for Black talent who are part of our community. And we want to collaborate with corporations and other community organizations to do this work. We understand that collectively and the strength in numbers can really help us push our mission and our vision forward. And so we look at our collaborating partners, both community and corporate, to try and help us walk this together.
Absolutely. I love that. So what inspires you most about your work?
I think, I grew up in Kenya and moved to Canada as an immigrant and as a student particularly, and saw the challenges and struggles of just trying to make it day by day. And I think for me, recognizing that the 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 journey of Black people in this country, it needs to be a united front, and being unapologetically Black is what we strive for as an organization and personally, and looking at the ways in which intergenerationally we can empower Black people. We can make sure that the next generation of Black people are in a better situation. And so for me, I think like waking up being unapologetically Black and living that intentionally truly does define, what keeps me excited, what keeps me passionate, what keeps me going.
What does being unapologetically Black mean to you?
It means that when we say Black Lives Matter, we truly do mean that all Black lives matter. And that means that trying to unlearn the ways in which society has made us frown upon different aspects of individuals, whether it is their disability, their gender, their race, their religion. being unapologetically Black means that when you see another Black person, you need to be able to celebrate, welcome them, empower them, and support them, because they also face systemic barriers depending on what issues they're going through. And also in being unapologetically Black is not apologizing for your existence and for your survival. You know, the things that we feel when we see other Black people hurting are valid responses to, you know, to be angry, to be upset, to want to do something, you know, not minimizing your feelings because you think that society wants you to behave and act a certain way. So being unapologetic is celebrating all of the kinds of Black people that we are, but also being unapologetic means that you will not compromise what you think is best for the liberation of Black people in society, in community, and in your conversations.
Absolutely. So what kind of challenges or barriers do you face in your work, and how are you and your team working to overcome them?
I think like as organizations out there, corporations, people still are complacent in the way in which they're doing DEI work. And so one of the challenges is just trying to ensure that as we are collaborating and partnering with organizations, they have strategic ways and products, policies and processes that are intentionally supporting their strategy around DEI, around Black talent. You know, a lot of organizations did take the mandate in 2020 to do better, to be better, and went ahead and created departments and individuals hired to see that strategy through. But there's still spaces where people only see the quarters as ways of supporting Black talent. Like, let's hire Black people, but they're not building structures of development, of empowerment, of inclusion and belonging. And so that conversation still happens. And I think that we still have a long way to go. We've made amazing strides, but I think that we who work in the Black-led organizations are still continue to voice our concerns and push forward, because this is really a journey that needs a strategy, that needs allies, that needs sponsors to make sure that we can really be inclusive of Black talent.
That's great. So do you have a key set of priorities that you're working on right now that you'd like to highlight?
Yeah, I think one of the things, you know, as an organization that was founded virtually in 2020, one of the exciting things that we saw in 2023 was that our community really wanted to see each other in person, events. And so this year, our priority is to do more live in-person events, to be able to bring our community together, celebrate, spotlight some of the amazing work that we have. And so we're really focused on creating those spaces. Obviously, for us as a Black-led organization, every month, every day is Black History Month. But this Black History Month, we're celebrating an amazing conference at the end of Black History Month to bring people together. The other priority is we're now a charitable organization. And so we're looking for ways in which the organization can grow and be seen as an avenue for donating. And we're also trying to just make sure that as we make the connections for our Black talent, we can start to see the impact it's having and radiating in our communities. And we've been really successful in having events and hosting events where we see Black talent get connected, and they go on and do amazing things, either because they've been sponsored by an organization to extend programs in their community, or they're able to have job opportunities that support and grow them personally. So we're really excited about this year because we're now just elevating what we've done in 2023.
I love that. So how do you feel about the future of Black entrepreneurship in Canada?
I think that it's great. I think that what we are seeing is a resurgence in autonomy, a resurgence in innovation. It's providing Black talent an opportunity to achieve the unimaginable. I don't think that my my upbringing and my generation, where we were really being pushed into certain industries and certain careers, that we're slowly starting to shed that. And we're seeing a resurgence of Black entrepreneurs. I think that they are financial institutions that have created programs that educate and empower Black talent, and provide entrepreneurship services and opportunities. There are organizations that exist that are funding Black entrepreneurs, and the individuals who see the importance of funding Black entrepreneurs. So I think like the sky is the limit for us when it comes to entrepreneurship. And it's an alternative in the sense that you are in a safer environment, and you can protect your mental well-being because you work for yourself and you provide for your community. So I really am excited to see how this elevates and grows in this country.
So you're optimistic.
I'm very optimistic.
I love it. So, what is your ultimate goal and what would success look like to you and your colleagues?
Wow. I think like every Black organization or Black person probably thinks about what a world would look like without anti-Black racism, without systemic barriers, without worrying about the color of your skin, the tone of your voice, how loud you are. So for me, the liberation of Black people is the ultimate goal, right? And liberation in the sense that our mental well-being, our physical well-being, our financial support and financial well-being are all met. And that starts by challenging anti-Black racism, by challenging the policies and the systems that exist, by disrupting whatever avenues that have been historically placed to put down Black people. So I think that that's the ultimate goal.
Absolutely. So, do you have any words of wisdom for emerging leaders or young people who are entering the ecosystem now?
Yeah, for sure. I think what I would say is that there's great opportunity, there's great avenues of success and growth. I think don't be afraid. Trust your instincts. Look for networks and communities that support you or individuals that can support you. Don't be afraid to seek a mentor or someone who can support your journey. Um, don't be afraid to try new things. Be innovative. And be your authentic self. Don't be afraid to show up as who you are. And that goes back to being unapologetically Black. Um, and be supportive of those who are coming behind you. If that door opens for you and you're in that space, see how you can leave that door open for others who look like you so that you're not the only Black person in the room, right? And also create networks where you can support yourself, take care of yourself, take care of your well-being. It really is a hard journey sometimes, and recognizing that taking a pause and taking care of yourself is also a community benefit. And so look for those avenues where you can seek that mental health support, mental wellness support, mental well-being support, and just thrive, be happy, be present. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. We really appreciate those words. Do you have any additional closing thoughts or calls to action for our community?
I think the fight must go on. I think the strength in numbers in our fight on challenging racism, challenging anti-Black racism. I think let us not forget that Black lives do matter, and that we are in this struggle and this fight collectively as Black folks and allied folks. And let's show each other some grace. It's a tough world out there. And I think as we're building structures and communities that want to be anti-oppressive, that want the liberation of Black people, let's not forget to do it in love and harmony.
Absolutely. We really appreciate that. And we just want to thank you for taking the time to not only do this interview with us, but all the tireless work that you're putting into the community. We just want to commend you for that. So thank you.
Thank you.
And we just want to close off the way we started by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we are on. We also want to acknowledge the ancestors and those who toiled without compassion or compensation, as well as the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we continue to stand on as we do this work for our collective liberation. So thank you once again, Hilda, and we thank you, our viewers and listeners.
For sure. Thank you.